We keep things rolling on this busy edition of the Sports Cubicle here on WCPT 820 AM and Heartland Signal in Chicago. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, and the Chicago Bulls are heading to the offseason after losing another play-in game to the Miami Heat. What is this, the 17th time that's in the 4-year history that these two teams have met in the play-in? But at the United Center, the Bulls fall to the Miami Heat 109-90, ending a very disappointing season, and more than anything, a season that has Bulls fans frustrated with a 39-43 season attempt seed, another elimination in the play-in tournament. And the only thing that seems to be true about this team is they will do whatever it takes to just get that extra home game, that extra revenue. And I wanted to point out this article by Joe Cowley. And if you're from Chicago, if you pay attention to the Chicago Bulls and during the Justin Fields era of the Chicago Bears, Joe Cowley is very outspoken, very honest, and he has his opinions. Not everybody likes him, but I believe that he brings up some really good points, and he had a flamethrower to the Chicago Bulls on the Sun-Times recently on his latest article. Shame on executive Arturas Karnisovas for building a hero-less Bulls roster. And this is from the article that you could check out right now. The Bulls, every flaw was exposed by the Heat and all-star guard Tyler Herro in the play-in embarrassment Wednesday. And while Karnisovas spent the season chasing fool's gold, he missed yet another opportunity to try and add an elite talent. Coby White was the best Bulls player all season, but even he had to learn a painful lesson on Wednesday, watching all-star Tyler Herro take apart the Bulls all night long. Shame on Bulls executive vice president of basketball operations, Arturas Karnisovas. Sure, there was plenty of finger pointing after the Bulls' colossally embarrassing 109-90 loss to the Heat in a win-or-go-home Eastern Conference play-in game Wednesday. The Heat's Eric Spoelstra was the best coach in the United Center, exposing the Bulls' every flaw. All-star guard Tyler Herro was the best player in the building, showing wannabe all-stars just how far they still have to be by scoring a game-high 38 points and getting whatever he wanted against the Bulls' defense. But the real culprit in this chase for fool's gold was Karnisovas. He was so blind in his pursuit of, quote, development and building out the roster that he wasted another season of doing what it takes to add elite caliber talent. The hopes of hitting a number one pick in the NBA draft lottery and selecting Duke star Cooper Flagg, a pipe dream. The idea of another roster overhaul? Check the current contract situation. Fooling anyone who would listen that Chicago is a free agent destination, please. Every mistake this front office has made in the last 5 years was exposed in a gigantic thud of a night. Quote, I thought we came out with the wrong mindset, Bulls guard Josh Giddey said. And credit to them. They dictated terms, and we just didn't respond the way we needed to. We dug ourselves a deep hole, and it was tough to get out. The Bulls fooled a lot of people in last month by playing winning basketball and looking as though they finally would be able to put to rest the curse of the Miami Heat, who had eliminated them in the previous two play-in tournaments. One problem, they still lack the elite player who in the playoffs can put a team on his shoulders and push them forward. It wasn't Giddey, whom Herro and several other Heat guards went right at on the defensive end. It wasn't guard Coby White, who shot 5 for 20 and committed 7 turnovers. And it wasn't rookie forward Matas Buzelis, who is still a pup. The Heat had a hero, and all Karnisovas has given the Bulls and their fans is false hope. Check out the entire article. There's so much more good there by Joe Cowley in the Chicago Sun-Times. Shame on executive Arturas Karnisovas for building a hero-less Bulls roster. So that comes out. The embarrassment happens. And then things got worse. Because on Thursday, April 17th, here in Chicago, the Bulls vice president, the man in charge, the VP of basketball operations, I should say, Arturas Karnisovas, met with the media and had this to say. Quote, I'm asking the fans for patience because we are in the first year of that transition, Karnisovas said. And this is coming to us from ClutchPoints.com. This article by Scotty White. Arturas Karnisovas makes requests to Bulls fans after latest play-in disaster. I'm asking the fans for patience because we are in the first year of that transition, Karnisovas said. According to a video from CHSN, I thought that the way we finished this year shows some promise. It's hard to win games in this league and to finish 15-5. isn't a victory lap, but I think there's some positives. And I think we're going to keep on building on this group by adding another player in the lottery, by going to free agency and adding another piece. And obviously, going in the summer, that's when the players get better. So hopefully our young group will focus this summer on getting better and come back so we can make another jump next year. All right. This is unbelievable. Look, I, for one, was somebody who drank the Kool-Aid when AK came over from Denver, when Mark Eversley came over from Philly, Toronto, from that side of the Eastern Conference. But just like we talk about so many different teams, not just in the city, but different organizations across the sports world, there are some front offices that are just poison, that are toxic to smart, intelligent people, that the minute they walk into the United Center, the Advocate Center, they get dumbed down. They have to buy in to the way the Reinsdorfs do business. You see it all the time in the south side of Chicago with the White Sox. Hope is not a plan. Hope is not how you win championships. Conning and lying to people is how you trick them into believing that you have something going here. Trying to use the last month of a season as a benefit that you haven't done a bad job and that you should run it back next year. This team has been bad at roster construction, at contract negotiations, and talent evaluation. This is all stuff that we should have seen the warning signs with Patrick Williams. Where's Terry at again? This team has not developed anybody. This team has not drafted anybody that was from obscurity that became a reputable NBA player. This team did not get the best out of its trade assets with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. This team has constantly, and this is before this administration, overvalued and overhyped their talent. This is a team that's beyond basketball hell. It's basketball purgatory. This team will never win championship number 7 with the Reinsdorfs in charge. This team will never win a championship, whether it's Jerry or Michael, because they don't know how to play, manage, and run winning basketball organizations. They know how to make money, and that's strictly off the back of a 90s basketball team that is now 30 years in the past and a loyal fan base that is waking up. This team has done nothing to earn the trust of its fan base. And then they give you quotes to be patient. You've been patient since 1998. You've been patient since 2011. You've been patient since losing the last 2 play-in tournaments to the Miami Heat. Are you any closer to drafting a big player? Drafting a generational player? Putting yourself in a position to make an acquisition for a star player like an Anthony Edwards? No, this team has not done that. This front office has not done that. Billy Donovan can only do so much. I could only ask the players to do so much, to ask them to play above their talent so many times. This team has constantly ran on history and loyalty of its fan base, but they are losing all of that quickly. And we have seen how much support this city will give a Chicago Bulls organization if they put a good product out there. That's not what's happening right now. So you just have to ask yourself a simple question. How do they get better? And any which way a team turns it around in the National Basketball Association, the Chicago Bulls have spat in the face of it deliberately and refuse to play ball the way it's played in 2025. Are they set up for any contract dumps? Are they set up to hit the lottery? Are they set up to even be in the meetings for a disgruntled superstar somewhere else? There are teams in the lottery right now that are closer to being relevant and championship contenders than the Chicago Bulls are, because they have the hope that they might land a talent like Cooper Flagg and some of these other kids that are going to be good players in the NBA. Patience is what they're asking you for. I think you should be asking for results. We want to know your thoughts. So the Chicago Bulls, the season has ended. Seemed like a big waste of time. Seemed like this team is going to continue to do what it does, which is the bare minimum to make sure they're just competitive enough to sell out just enough games. And now it seems like the responsibility isn't going to come down from the front office, the ownership. It's going to come from you, telling them with your wallet what you want to see from them. We want to know your thoughts. We're on Twitter at Mike M Media. Make sure you're checking out the video version of the show over on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. Check us out wherever you get your favorite podcasts at Sports from the Couch. And, of course, over at the WCPT 820 SoundCloud. We have a jam-packed edition of the Sports Cubicle on this holiday weekend here on WCPT 820 AM Chicago and Heartland Signal. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.